Howdy friends, Meredith Giles of the Great Outdoors here with your February video newsletter. You know, February is a time when you don't think about the garden a lot. It's kind of cold and damp out and you might feel like you have more fun inside, but there's a lot of stuff you can do now in February to have a great garden come spring. First off, February is a great time for starting your seeds indoors. In early February, you're going to want to consider starting things like tomatoes and peppers. Later in the month, you'll start things like eggplant and okra for transplanting into the garden once it gets a little warmer. Another great thing to do in February is to prepare your beds for planting in the spring. You know, when it's still cool outside, it's a great time to go out there and do some of that hard labor, the digging and turning and getting the soil amendments in. We've got a great selection of soil amendments here, everything you'll need to get your bed ready. Speaking of getting ready, February is also the time to put out corn gluten. Now the corn gluten application you do in February is primarily for the summer weeds, things like sandburrs and purslane. You may still get some weeds in the spring. That was actually covered by the corn gluten application you do in September. So don't feel discouraged if you still see some weeds early in the year. This February application is really more for the summer weeds. Another thing we always think of when we think of February is Valentine's Day. First off, I always think of roses. We use Valentine's Day as a day to remember when it's time to work on your roses. If you feel like you need to cut your roses back, it's a great time to do it. It's also a time to plant a new rose if you'd like to get one in the garden. And it's also time to start thinking about fertilizing them and getting them ready for great spring blooms. Finally, we love the rose, it's a great gift, but you know, you might consider something different. Instead of giving some cut roses to your Valentine, consider a nice blooming plant that will live on for much longer. We've got things like these great pink jasmine wreaths, very fragrant in the spring, beautiful, beautiful aroma. We've got things like dianthus, carnations, cyclamen, lots of plants that you could give in lieu of the rose that might give you a lot longer flower. So come on down to the Great Outdoors and see what we've got. Thanks.